Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our Life Directions Lunch and Learn video series. This is our next one in the series, and we're doing these series of videos to highlight facilitators that do training in disability awareness in our Bruce Gray community for all the businesses here. And today, my special guest is Alicia Gibbons, and she started her own training company called The Space Between with Alicia. Can you tell us a little bit about what prompted you to start this company, your mission statement, and anything you'd like to tell us about the company?
Absolutely. So first, I want to say thank you so much, Randy, for having me here today. It's truly an honor to be able to work with a company like Life Directions. You guys have a pretty incredible mission statement of your own. So it's been really nice to get to know you guys and to now be able to partner together. So thank you for this opportunity. Truthfully, the space between with Alicia is something that I'd been thinking about for a really long time. I just had a massive feeling for multiple years that I was really supposed to be in more of the wellness sector. I just didn't know what that looked like at the time. So, to give you a little bit of a background on me, I've been an entrepreneur most of my adult life. But up until this business, I'd always had more of like the brick and mortar retail, downtown storefront type of businesses. And multiple years ago, I loved what I did, but I found a really strong connection to people. And I just kept thinking that I was supposed to be doing something with wellness. So I took a pretty big leap of faith multiple years ago and kind of submersed myself in different programs and certifications. And the one thing that never wavered with me is I always knew that the work that I was going to be doing would both be for the corporate services side of things and also with youth and teens. So that was something that from day one, I always seen. I didn't quite know how it was all going to come to fruition, but I never wavered on that. I wanted to keep that strong balance between them both. And so now, years later, to be living that thought has been pretty incredible. So the space between with Alicia, one of the cool things about having me as your facilitator. It's not just the educational pieces that I've learned over the last few years. I have lived this experience, being an entrepreneur, trying to find that work-life balance, things like that, trying to find that internal balance. I definitely I've taken a lot of the things that I've learned and now I'm able to give back and teach other people what has worked, what hasn't worked, what different programs and workshops have been the most valuable. So that's the one cool thing, is that you're not just going to have me come in and speak just from the educational piece. This is more lived experience, which is, I think, more relatable. Second thing, I promise that our workshops and programs, all of them are very fun and interactive and engaging. I will not come in and be boring, or they won't be dry. There's a lot of fun to be had. I think that laughter and having fun while you're learning is the best way to learn. Um, and so our mission statement is really clear. We want to equip as many people and businesses as possible with foundational tools to help them thrive and to help them soar and to really know who you are, so that that confidence piece comes into play as well. And so we've been very fortunate to work with companies near and far, as well as some youth programs in our area, and just to watch this all come into action.
That sounds like quite the journey.
Yes.
Um, no, it's I like that part about the lived personal experience, and it just made me think of something we talked about a little bit before, about that one famous trainer that is famous for helping people on various issues. And one of his motto in creating your own training is taking your mess and turning it into a message, because you're helping others get to the same place you are now and beyond.
Yeah.
Um, I was looking at your website the other day, and that's another reason it prompted me to invite you to an interview. And you've got quite a bit of training there. Can you tell us a little bit about what you have on the website?
Absolutely. So when you go on our website under corporate services, we kind of have two different umbrellas. So we have corporate programs, and under there, you're going to find an exclusive 8-week program This is an amazing program. It stems from a master's degree program that was brought into play at Stanford University multiple years ago. And it's incredible. Not only is it going to help connect a team together, but each week they learn different foundational tools that kind of just perfectly pile on top of each other. So with this program, the dedicated time would be 75 to 90 minutes per week. And I always say, if we start on a Wednesday, let's just do every Wednesday for 8 weeks. I like to have the same day of the week. Your company would have all materials that they would need to complete this program. And again, this is over an 8-week period. Now, let's say you're a company and you may not have that much of a time dedication. Under corporate workshops, this is maybe where you would want to look. So we can do everything from a lunch and learn style, which is, your 60 to 75 minute. All workshops and programs can be done in person or online. Maybe you have a little bit more within your budget or more within a professional and personal development day. So we also have the availability to do half day or full day workshops. And some of the topics, just to kind of give you an idea of what's out there, there's conscious communication in the workplace, work-life balance, overcoming overwhelm. There's a great one all about understanding our values and the qualities that we can bring into our work. So there's about 9 different workshops that companies can choose from. And again, there's a different variety. It could be a simple lunch and learn all the way to a full day workshop.
Sounds like there's something for everybody there.
Truly is. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went through the website, I was really impressed by all the courses that you just were talking about. With Life Directions, have a project we're working on right now through the Opportunities Fund, which supports persons with disabilities. So we're looking to provide training to businesses in this aspect of job development for people and supported employment. And there was one course that was on there. It was called Letting Go of Judgment. Could you tell us a little bit about that one?
Absolutely. So it's one of my all-time favorites because oftentimes we don't really understand where judgment comes from. So this is a really interactive workshop, and it's actually quite fun too. So what we do is we guide people into actually, I want to get that voice of judgment, that judgment to kind of come to the forefront. So we actually start by doing an exercise that kind of cultivates that to kind of come forward. And then we learn about not just the internal judgment, because we're so hard on ourselves. We're our worst enemy at times of, the way that we speak to ourselves is often never in a way that we would speak to anybody else with some of the negative self-talk. So it's not just about learning about that internal judgment, but what about the external judgment? How do we judge other people? How do we judge groups of people? And how do we detach from that? So one of the things that we do is learn how to separate from that, and then also learning how to tame that, so that when that little voice or that thought comes into place, what can we do to, again, separate from it and tame it so that it's not leading our thoughts?
Yeah, I really like that training. I think it's a
Yeah.
very good training. And the one thing I thought, as our Life Directions organization, we're also, placing persons with disabilities with businesses. And it could even be a very valuable training for a business to take before onboarding someone with a disability, just to help in easing that whole process and make it go forward. Now, everyone might be wondering, well, how do we access all this training? And there's 2 ways, actually. Is you can access the training by contacting Alicia through her website, and then her and I will get together, and you as well. And the other method is to go through the Life Directions employer portal and register as an organization and partner with Life Directions. And we can set you up with Alicia's training, and most of the time we can even pay for it for you, so it's free. Thank you for joining the webinar today, Alicia. The information on our websites is going to be on the next slide I'm going to put up.